Hello, and welcome to Preparing to Survive and Thrive Homesteading Channel with Charlie B. So, what are we working on today? Well, we are processing, as in pressure canning, our stuffed pepper soup that you should have just watched a video on the other day. Well, today we are planning on canning it. Well, that was at least the plan. So, actually the canning process was supposed to be part of the making the stuffed pepper soup, but we had an issue with our lids sealing. Actually, I had canned 20 jars and only 5 of them sealed. So I got home Friday night after some dinner obligations I had. I took the canners apart and looked inside, and boom, which you will get to see these pictures in a minute. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to start off the video by showing you what I did in the processing and leading up to the point of everything going haywire and nothing pretty much sealing. And then we're going to come back to how I solved this issue so I did not lose 15 jars of stuffed pepper soup. So come along with me on this journey, and sometimes if you laugh, you smile, you cry, but it's a homesteading journey, and this is my life and my journey. So welcome, and let's get to it. Well, we are ready to start jarring this. I did not change the amount of sugar. I stuck with 1/2 cup. If I want more sugar, when I go to pull it out and put it in a can or a pot to cook it, then I will do that then. It's very, very hot. And the jars are super hot too. I pulled 2 out just so I can show you how I do it and put the lids on. I use my handy dandy funnel. Now I'm using regular mouth jars and a measuring cup to dip with. Now, if I don't think I'm getting enough juice, I'll go ahead and reach back and get some more. Now, as you can see, the soup is very thick, and that's all right. It can be. I'll just have to add some water to it when I pull it out. I'm going to fill it up to that line. I know people say you can fill it up further. I don't really want to do that, and I overfilled that jar. So I'll show you what I do when I overfill a jar. If I find really big clumps of meat or rice, I will go ahead and break them up before, hopefully, they go into the jar. Okay, when I overfill a jar, I will literally just take a tablespoon or a teaspoon, depending on the size of the jar, and pull it out. Now I'm canning these in my All-American pressure canner, and it will hold 14 quarts when you double stack them. Yeah, I'm gonna make another mess, watch me. And I have my paper towel with vinegar on it. That's what I just pulled off. And I just wipe the jar rims like this. And because we're using the ball lids, metal ones, you finger tight them. Just put it right up there, that one on there. I'm just going to finger tight them. Now that one is a regular lid or a no-name brand lid, so we will see. Just finger tight that one too. And I'll put these in the holder, and we will be right back after I get these jarred, and I'll take you out to the pressure canner. When we're out here at the crock pot, I have my canner set up, and I have the little shelf, never can remember what that's called, but it separates the cans from, or the jars from the bottom, and it helps with more even heat in the water. Now you have to put in 2 inches of water for your pressure canner. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and put in my first 7 jars. The first 7 jars are in, and then we're going to put on a separator like we have on the bottom, and we will go ahead and put on our next 7 jars in a minute. And I have the other 7 in here, and I'm going to go ahead and get the lid on and get it started. And we'll be back once we hit pressure. So I ended up with a total of 20 jars being filled up, and this bunch has an antique jar in it, so it will not use the Tatler lid, so I put a metal lid on that. I cleaned up the jars with the vinegar cloth. Now I'm going to show you how to put these on. Now these are different than the metal lids. What they say is to put your finger here and just tighten it until the jar spins. And that's what we're doing. So we've got 4 more jars to do, and I'm going to get them out there in the pressure canner. So it looks like I'm going to have both pressure canners going, and this one only has 6 full jars instead of my 7. So the center jar is just filled with water. I'm going to get this set up, get the lid on it, and get it raring to go. So let's pray that they all seal. Well, we are technically not up to pressure, and that's not what I meant to say. I meant to say when we are ready to put on this little guy, you put it on 10, and this will make the pressure canner reach 10 pounds of pressure. Now, as you can see, I actually have this with an oven mitt on it, because this is steam. It's been steaming for a good 10 minutes, and I do not want to burn myself. There we go. It's on. Woo! So we'll be back when we get ready to take everything out. Well, I'd like to say everything I can turns out perfectly, but this is the mess I have. Now, this is the first time I've used this canner. Not sure. I don't know. Maybe it's me, but things do not go so good. That's what I ended up with. The lids came off of 2 of them, and yeah, not sure why, but it's the Tatler ones. So I guess I'll get these out, get them cooled down, and we'll see where we go from here. Well, this one turned out fine. They look beautiful, but I'm going to let them cool before I pull them out, and we'll check for seals. Well, as you saw in the pictures, there was actually 2 lids that had popped off the Tatler ones. They didn't even stay on the jars. So when they cooled down, literally the next morning, I went and checked everything, and only the 5 jars had sealed. So I had obligations on Saturday, Sunday, and Monday that I could not stop and pressure can. My refrigerators are full. The only good thing is it's in the 20s and 30s here outside. So I stuffed all my jars in a big cooler and threw ice on top of them and set them outside until today, which is a Tuesday. And Tuesday I am actually back here in the kitchen. So I'm going to tell you exactly what I did, but I'm going to take you back over to the soup that's over there back in the pot. I am reheating everything. I went through the jars, made sure they were all the same, and I did not have any antique jars, which I don't know why, because some of the antique jars sealed. So I bought some lids. They were no-name lids during COVID, and I know a lot of people, I've been seeing it still on Facebook, the lids are not sealing. So I don't know if I did something, if something happened with the pressure. I don't have a clue why this happened, but with what didn't seal, I'm going to say I have no idea. Let's be honest. I don't have a clue. So I'm making sure this time my jars are all the same. I don't have any antique jars in there. And I am going to do 12 of the 14 with the ball lids. And the last 2 I'm going to use Tatler. Just to see. I'm hoping that they work. Whatever does not pressure can this time and does not seal will be put in the freeze dryers. So just look to see how I went ahead and did this. I do the same process. I just have it cooking down, and then we'll put them back in the jars and go from there. All right, so we'll be back in a little bit probably about 2 to 3 hours or 5 to see if I can take any of the lids off the pressure canners, or whenever I take the lids off the pressure canners. How about that? I will show you, and hopefully everything has sealed. All right, here we go. Wish me luck. Also, I want you to know that the reason I'm showing you this, that yes, something happened in my canning process. Not sure why, but it did. But if you are out there and you are a new canner and the same thing happened to you, it happens to everybody. I've been canning for 25, 27 plus years by myself, let alone growing up and watching and helping my foster father do this. So don't give up. Figure out how you can fix the issue, or if you can't fix it, if you can't recook it and get it hot and put it back out in the jars, then freeze it or freeze dry it. Or dehydrate it. There's millions of different other ways to preserve food other than canning, most things. But so just know that this does happen to everybody, and just because everybody does not put it out there and say, hey, internet, I messed up, or something happened to a canning process. But this is me, this is my life, so again, welcome to my journey, and I'll be back. Okay, I know I said I'd bring you back after I was done the pressure canning process, but wanted to show you, I did dump out all the jars and put them in here. I ended up with 13 jars because we ate 2 of them because they weren't sealed, so we went ahead and decided to use them. But I've got the cup in there I'm going to scoop out. But we ended up with 13 jars, and I ended up also putting in 2.5 quarts of water to thin it out and add some more liquid back into it because it did siphon. This is what the jars look like that did not seal. So you can see they were kind of down here, and they were up here. I haven't even washed these guys off completely. Some of them were even a little lower, like down here. So I made sure we had enough to do hopefully 14 jars complete. Okay, so I'm going to get dipping, putting the lids and the rings on, and get them out in the pressure canner. We'll be back. Okay, so here is to find out what happened. If this is looking, I have not opened this up yet. Just opened it. Well, it's looking good. It smells good. So I need to get out the 2 that are, hey, these have all sealed. I won't know tomorrow until the other ones have sealed because they're too hot to pull out and check. But I'm not seeing a disaster area in here. And we'll be back. Well, it's morning now. And I just pulled out the top layer of the jars, and this actually looks pretty good compared to the last time I looked. The jars are actually fairly clean, so let's see what the bottom row looks like. I am actually holding this. Okay, we do have some mess down there. But from what I can tell, they've all sealed. So the only ones I need to check to make sure that they've sealed are the 2 tappers. I literally have to take off the lid to check them. So I'm going to take you inside and give you this little bit. So, but it doesn't look like there's been nearly as much siphoning, and I think I figured out what the issue has been. So we're going to the kitchen now. So I pulled the second row out, and this is what's in the bottom. Some of the fat did siphon out, and but all in all, this looks a lot better than what my other mess looked like. So let's go to the kitchen now for sure. So we're in the kitchen. You can see the jars. Now these right here were on the bottom, and they do have some fat on the side that's siphoned out, but you can see the siphoning is only down to here versus how far the last batch was, which was like 2 inches at least down below, if not 2.5. So the top jar looks amazing, and I have not cleaned out anything, but what we're going to do is everything's sealed, like I said, which I think I have figured out the cause of some of the issues that I've been having. We're going to see if the Tattler is sealed. Taking off the lid, please seal. Yes, it's sealed. I'm actually picking it up off the ground, and I'm not holding it except for by the lid. So that means it's sealed very good. So I might be in love with Tattler again. Did this one seal? And yes, the siphoning is so little now. And yes, it is sealed. And all right, so I'm going to bring you up so I can actually talk to you and not talk at you and tell you what I think I figured it out, and we will go from there. Okay, so now you can see my face. Like I had said, the siphoning on the other jars were so much better, even though they did seal. But only 5 out of the 20. So I've got 13 here, and everything is sealed, and I'm in love with Tatler again. Perfect! I figured it out. At least I think I figured it out. I have never had the siphoning issue cooking on electric stoves or canning on electric stoves, my gas stove, or my induction stove. Never. So this was all new to me. I think I figured it out. The little burners, or they're not little, the outside burners that I've been using create like 8,000 BTUs. I could be wrong on that number. It's been a while since I bought them. I think I had the heat turned up way too high. So yesterday when I was canning these, I turned them down very low until it just had a minute. It took a little bit longer to get it up to pressure, to get the steam coming out, but I did not have the mess. So I'm going to try this again at the slow speed with something different and see. But that is my guess, is I just had the heat up too high, and that's what was causing the jars not to seal, and also causing them to siphon out more. So if you have any thoughts on that, leave me a comment. But we've got now 13 and 5 is 19. No, 18 jars. Sorry about that. And I have almost a full jar of the stuffed pepper soup in the refrigerator that I'm going to eat for lunch and enjoy it. So, and probably have it for lunch tomorrow or share with a friend. So, but there you have it. And we might have found the solution to the problem and have fixed our issues. But only time will tell. And remember, if you like my content, please like, share, and subscribe. I really hope this video has helped you to see that just because something goes wrong, you can always repurpose, redo, and go in a different direction. Now, so right now, I might not have anything to freeze dry in my stuffed pepper soup, so I might have to make some other ones. So I'm going to be making a smaller batch, maybe, but and my next video is going to be a what's for dinner, and I'm going to share the smaller recipe with you. So remember, like, share, and subscribe. Charlie B signing out, and I'll be talking with you soon.